What's up? What's up, YouTubers? What's going on? It's your boy Porter Rock 77. You know that sound. That's the 60 frames, no lag. You know what I'm saying? Even though this is not the podcast is tomorrow. Still trying to come up with tomorrow's topic, and maybe hopefully, I'm about to start playing Battlefield today, and hopefully that doesn't interrupt. Because you know what it is. I'm a gamer. You know what I'm saying? Like we all are. But it is what it is. We'll see. But today I want to do a quick ad hoc video. Because something's going down, in the middle. And I think, and this is what we need to talk about. This is the one thing one of my channel and 60 frames, no lag, was meant for. It's to talk about the topics that really need to be talked about. Now, of course, we'll talk about games. We'll talk about sales. We'll talk about products that they're good. We'll talk about products that they're bad. And then everybody is all in on that, right? But something that goes outside those realms, especially the topic I'm about to bring up, is what we really need to be talked about, because this is something serious. This is something that it's not life threatening, but I think it's important as gamers to understand, to call a spade, and to understand what's really going on. Because I think a lot of people. Well, let me get to the topic, and it's better explained. So the topic I want to talk about is Phil Spencer today. Okay, so with Respawn releasing Titanfall 2 on Friday, apparently it's not doing as well. And we could talk about all day on why it's not doing well. Okay, there could be tons of reasons. All right, primarily Xbox. Some members of the Xbox community feel it's because they betrayed their trust, or they made them look stupid, or they didn't respect them. A whole bunch of personal stuff, which meant that a lot of Xbox gamers didn't buy the game on principle. Okay, that could be a factor. Another factor is timing. They put this game in the middle of Battlefield and Call of Duty coming out this Friday, so that's 3 shooters at a minimum. Now, if you include Gears of War 4, that's 4 shooters. So you're talking about major multi-plat games, 4 of them, and all gamers ain't balling. Every gamer is not going to be able to buy all 4 games, especially on the Xbox or PC, whatever. All right. So there is a limited budget on what a gamer could do. So you got that factor. So there's multiple factors. Okay. But what came out of that, which I'm not surprised it happened. I mean, it's all part of, social media. It's all a part of the trash talking, is the reaction from many, not all, because there was a lot of Xbox, but I'm saying it's the reaction of some. I'll say that. Some Xbox fans. Some Xbox fans use that as an opportunity to talk trash. But on the same token, many Xbox gamers, some prominent big ones, protected that game. One of the biggest prominent ones was Ran Althor, I think his name is. He has like the 3rd highest gamer score in the US or in the world. Huge Xbox dude. And he came out and protected that game. He said this game is great, probably better than the first. Go out and buy it. He did his part. You know what I'm saying? He did his thing. Another one, another prominent Xbox gamer is Southbound. He's all about that game too. Shout out to my boy Mark. He doesn't have a YouTube channel, but he's a good dude. He's on Twitter. He also came out to that. Another Xbox dude, AJ Felton. He hypes it. He says that's his favorite shooter. So you got Xbox dudes, rallying for Titanfall 2 despite the bullshit happened. Because at the end of the day, you want to play games on your console. That's all that matters. The console itself is useless without the software. You know what I'm saying? So these guys came out. But on the flip side, you got Xbox gamers, especially YouTube, that are bashing the game. Or using the opportunity to throw egg at Respawn's face as how they see it. Some people, like my boy K Mega, shout out to K Mega, he's saying karma's a bitch. Zaire made a video, making fun of Respawn, saying green this ain't sexy, but how's that green money, or to that effect. Mooch, hell, the very day the game came out, he on his Crossfire podcast, he started talking trash, and that was the day he came out. So you have a split. You have Xbox gamers that support the game because at the end of the day, it's a game, and they realize it's a good game. The stress test does not bear any relevance to what the actual game ended up. So you have that. But then you have those that are bashing it, taking the opportunity to bash the game. So it's a tricky situation, right? With its continued bashing, right? Phil Spencer came out, and I'm gonna read off his timeline. I'll say, let me read off. Okay, so Acid man, I don't follow him. I blocked him because we all part of the civil war between the 84.2 flops. But he asked, um, why does he listen to mucho to set that effect? Okay. Phil Spencer replied, I don't, and this is verbatim because I'm reading it right off his timeline right now. I don't follow / interact and don't agree with talk around Respawn. They are a good partner and built a great game. Okay, so that's what he said. Okay, and then there was a slew of damage control from Xbox dudes and all that, right? And then somebody else made a tweet to him. Mr. Negative, he said, that Liddell dude is just as bad as Mooch, 1978. Please avoid them both. So Liddell, Chuck Liddell, if you don't know, he's a PlayStation dude, but he's the one that loves to copy and paste, and and he he's a fanboy, just like he's the PlayStation's virgin side. So they all bash and attack, and he does that. All right. So Mr. Negative, that Liddell dude is just as bad as Mooch. Please avoid them both. And Phil Spencer replied, I do. And then another, I guess Xbox dude says, appreciated, the community deserves better than hateful morons. And then they tell him, you're a good dude, Phil. You've done this fantastic job with Xbox. I highly respect you. All right. So Phil Spencer came out and says, I don't follow these people. Okay. So now this is where the backlash. BGST had their little broadcast this past week, and I hardly listen to BGST, rarely ever. And shout out to Zaire, Next Gen 720. He does a great program. He does a great job of providing entertainment. Whether you hate him or love him, whether you're an Xbox or a PlayStation dude, he's a very entertaining personality. You know what I'm saying? Whether you feel his content is useful, factual, whatever, this is YouTube. It's not like we're talking about Syria or politics or whatever. But I don't listen to BGST because I know BGST for what it is. And Zaire recognizes BGST for what it is too. It is a fanboy extreme program. If you're tuning in for BGST expecting rational conversation, you're crazy. You understand what I'm saying? That's like going to the O'Reilly Factor expecting, unbiased news. It's not going to happen. It is geared towards a certain direction. You know what I'm saying? It's not fair and balanced. It is meant to bash PlayStation. It is meant to hype up Xbox in the most extreme way. It is the most extreme fanboying podcast you can get. That is a fact. That's just how it is. If you go to BGST expecting truth, whether you're an Xbox or a PlayStation, you're not going to get it there. Okay? If you go to that channel, you're going for one of two reasons. Reason number one, you're an Xbox dude and you want your ego stroked because you enjoy love and hype behind Xbox, and you love to hear PlayStation get totally ripped apart. So that's one reason. You're that guy. Or reason number two, you're a PlayStation fan and you like the controversy. You like to hear the shit talking because you want to shit talk back, and you want to talk about it on Twitter, and you just want to shit talk. Those are your two reasons. All right? You're an extreme fanboy that likes your ego stroked, or you're an extreme fanboy that loves to hear the controversy and you want to fight back. It's as if it's your duty. That's it. That's BGST. Nothing else. You're not going to get nothing else. If you're going to go there for factual information, wrong place. You're fooling yourselves. It's there for entertainment in the most extreme way. Okay? Now, the problem is, why do you guys think Phil Spencer or corporate execs is going to align themselves with that type of thinking? They are not going to be part of that extremism. They're not going to be part of that mindset. They're not going to be part of that conversation. Phil Spencer is in charge of a multi-billion-dollar company. Well, not the whole company, but his division. You understand what I'm saying? And that Xbox brand is tied to many other products and stuff like that. He can't be associated with guys who just go crazy, who just go to the extreme on conversations and stuff. He just can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Even if Xbox was the number one console in terms of software sales and hardware sales, he still wouldn't do it. He will not align to that extreme mentality. He's not going to align with a bunch of guys on Twitter and YouTube who even in jest, even as a joke, say things like, and I'll put it to you right now, and this probably was a joke. I mean, I'm not going to say it wasn't, but Crab Gamer sent me a screenshot, and Crack Gamer said this. Now, it could be a joke, granted. The context could be a complete joke, right? All right. But either way, this is what Crack Gamer said. He said, let's all celebrate. If we get lucky, Respawn will close down. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm sure if, you know, I don't follow Crap Gamer or whatever. I have him blocked. He has me blocked. So like I said, I don't really go that hard with extremism. But I'm sure if I probably would have read the timeline, it was probably in the context of a joke. I would hope. I really hope he doesn't feel that way. Okay? But in Phil Spencer's eyes, he can't laugh at that. He can't even have that on his timeline as a joke. He cannot wish for another company, even as a joke, and say, hope Respawn closed down. He has a professional relationship with these companies. He likes the relationship he has with Respawn. He wants to maintain the relationship with Respawn. So he can't allow a few YouTubers to ruin that. You know what I'm saying? Because say what you want. Say what you want, all right? Let me give you an example. Crack Gamer has about 25,000 subscribers. Huge. Very huge. Mooch has around 6,000. Next Gen has around 15,000. So these guys have good established subscribers on their channel, right? Last month, Xbox sold 330,000 consoles in September. PlayStation sold 285. So yeah, Xbox One sold, Microsoft sold 330,000 consoles in 1 month. Okay? In just 1 month, Microsoft sold more consoles than the views, than the subscribers of Mooch, Crab Gamer, and Zaire combined. You understand what I'm saying? Those channels make up a fraction of the entire Xbox nation, technically, if you want to call it that, or the Xbox owners. It's a fraction. You know what I'm saying? Phil Spencer doesn't have time to deal with huge extreme ideologies. Okay, BGST, Console Corner, or I don't know about console. I don't really know. Look at that, but I would say the Xbox Nation podcast, Crossfire podcast. Those are extreme, especially BGST. Those are extreme podcasts. They take things to the extreme. You know what I'm saying? It is there to propagate Xbox fanboyism to the limit and to bash PlayStation to the limit. To give you an example, so this past week they're talking about Microsoft VR, right? Newly announced. Now let me show you how fanboyism they are, and there's nothing wrong. I'm going to tell you guys, nothing wrong about that. It is their channel. It is there to entertain. If you want to be a fanboy Xbox channel, go do it. More power to you. And if you're successful at it, good for you. I'm not going to say that these channels shouldn't exist. It's entertainment. Same thing like on the PlayStation side. You have JTech TV, right? He used to be called Pyro Legend. Always. Whether, like, PS3 was not the number one console last gen, right? In terms of software sales, hardware sales, but he fanboyed the hell out of that console, you know? And this gen, he's doing it again. That's him. You know what I'm saying? I don't look at a lot of his content because, like I said, I'm not really into being entertained by extremisms, whether it's PlayStation or Sony. If you have something good, I'll watch it. If you don't, I won't watch it. But more power to you. Excuse me, sorry. I'm getting parched. Do what you want on your channel. You know, this is America. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be a fanboy, a crazy-ass fanboy for your product, then be a crazy-ass fanboy product. It doesn't affect me. You understand what I'm saying? But back to what I was saying. So this past Sunday, they talked about Microsoft's VR, right? Crab Gamer said in his podcast that he thinks it will be pretty cool to watch a movie on it. He thinks cool things could happen with that $299 headset, like watch a movie and stuff. And he thinks that's a cool concept. Now, keep in mind, I found that comment weird because when you think about it, movies what? Movies are usually hour and a half, some even 2 hours long. You know You understand what I'm saying? Shout out to Andrew Wilkins. J-Tech really is it extreme? Is it extreme because he doesn't like? Well, you didn't finish your sentence. You finish your sentence. I could probably reply. But anyway, back to Crack Gamer. He said that he thinks it would be cool to watch a movie. Now, as we all know, movies are about hour and a half, some 2 hours, right? Now, why do I bring this up? Because for months, almost schedule, almost like on a constant schedule, whether it's on his Xbox Nation podcast, on a Crossfire podcast, or BGST, he has bashed the PlayStation VR. And one of the biggest things is nobody wants to come home from school or from work and have this helmet hour and a half, 2 hours. That's their opinion. That's how they see things. They see things as no one's gonna come home. You probably hear Mooch. No one's gonna come home from a hard day of work and let me get on the couch and put this helmet on for 2 hours. No one's gonna do that. That's what they've been preaching. But now all of a sudden, Microsoft creates a headset. Now it's cool to watch a movie, which requires you to have this thing on for an hour and a half, 2 hours. You see what I'm saying? That's the type of podcast they are. You know what I'm saying? Their podcast is built to propagate Xbox and to bash Sony. Completely. It's a complete fanboy channel, which is fine. Okay? The point of my conversation is, why do they think Phil Spencer will align with them? He's not going to align to this type of thinking. He's in charge of a major product in the electronics industry. You know what I'm saying? He is responsible to leverage, to maintain good relations with third-party developers. He is not going to co-sign, even if it was a joke, a silly statement as, if we're lucky, maybe Respawn will close down. He can't align himself with that, and he's not going to. You understand what I'm saying? That's just not what it is. And I'm pretty sure he's sick and tired of people using his statements to make it seem like he's bashing Sony. He doesn't want that. You understand what I'm saying? Now, one thing that mentioned, okay, like I said, I saw BGST, and this is one of the few BGSTs I saw, all right, was that they want Phil Spencer to be more like Donnie Matrick, because Donnie Matrick was ruthless. He'll talk shit. He's a go-getter, whatever. All right? That's one of his big things. What BGST don't understand is Donnie Matrick was the way he is, or the way he was, simply because the 360 was the dominant console of that generation. For a significant amount of time, yes, granted, the PlayStation eventually caught up, but by the time that happened, it was too late. For 5, 6, 7 years, 360 was the lead console. On top of that, it sold the most games. Most games were being bought on Xbox 360. And stuff like that. Okay, and Andrew Wilkins, J-Tech doesn't lie, man, and he actually shows a lot of gameplay. I'll give you that. I will say that J-Tech does show gameplay. He does show a lot of gameplay. No doubt. He does show a shitload of gameplay. You understand what I'm saying? So I do agree with that, all right? But he does, he takes things to the extreme, just like other people do. He's just an extremist. But I will give you that. He does show a lot of gameplay. You look at his channel, you see a lot of gameplay, that stuff. So I won't take that from him. All right. But anyway, what was I saying? Man, damn, Andrew, you made me lose my train of thought. Shit. What did you do? Oh, man. Okay. Oh, yeah, I was talking about BGST. Okay, Don Matrick. Okay. Don Matrick was in an era where the Xbox 360 was the dominant console. It sold the most software. You understand what I'm saying? So he could do dumb stuff. You know what I'm saying? But look what ended up costing him. He got too big for his britches, and now he almost killed the Xbox brand because of his dumb idea of trying to take over the TV market. You know what I'm saying? Remember, last gen with 360, Microsoft had Netflix behind a paywall. Remember? Xbox 360 was the only device in the entire world where, in order for you to use the Netflix apps, you had to subscribe to another service. If not, you couldn't use it. You know what I'm saying? Now, Netflix is free to silver members. But it wasn't free to silver members back on 360. Don Matrick didn't let that shit go. He says, you want to use Netflix? Pay for gold. You don't want to pay for gold? Deal with it. Hell, this was the same man that told the Xbox fan base, oh, you don't want a console that's connected? Hey, we have an Xbox 360 for that. You understand what I'm saying? He just got big-headed because of the success of 360. Phil doesn't have that with the Xbox One because of Don Matrick and his dumb decisions. You understand what I'm saying? And two, Phil Spencer doesn't seem like that personality. You understand what I'm saying? But Phil Spencer's not going to go around and pop off crap when his console is not the #1 console for game sales. Even in September, here in the US, with Xbox One being the #1 sold console in America, right? PlayStation sold the most software. Now I want you to think about that. In September, it says in physical sales, $150 million worth of software sales were sold on PlayStation platform compared to $116 million on the Xbox platform, despite the Xbox platform selling the most hardware. And in September, Xbox had 2 exclusives, Forza and Recore. But despite having those exclusives and every multi-plat the PS4 was getting, it still ended up with the PlayStation selling the most software. So Phil Spencer can't go crazy and pop stuff. What Phil Spencer is trying to do is simply make his product a more appealing product and maintain great relationships with third party in an environment where PlayStation sells the most software. You know what I'm saying? That's him. All right. That's what's going on. All right. But some people in Xbox want him to go crazy for no reason. Listen, Phil Spencer's doing his job. His job is to make Xbox more appealing, and he did that. Xbox One S is selling great. You know, they're riding high. You know what I'm saying? It's more attractive. It's more affordable. He completely changed it away from what the Xbox was. And soon the Scorpio comes out next year. We'll see how that turns out. We don't know much about it other than the 6T flop, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But he is not going to align with these fanboys and extreme thinking. You know, these guys think that the PlayStation Pro is useless and they don't understand what it does. Some of them are even saying now on BGST that you can't tell the difference between a PS4 Pro game, right, and a vanilla PlayStation 4 game. That's what they're saying now. Now, I want you to think about that. The PlayStation Pro is 4.2 teraflops. The PS4 is 1.8 teraflops. You're telling me you can't tell the difference between a 4.2 teraflop console and a 1.8 teraflop console? You really can't see the difference, okay? If that's the case, then what difference are you going to see between a 6 teraflop console and a 4.2? Because that gap is smaller than the gap between the Pro and the PS4. You see what I'm saying? Phil Spencer can't align with this type of thinking. He's just not going to deal with that. He's not going to embarrass himself with crazy talk. You know, at the end of the day, everybody just needs to understand their lane and who they are. If you're an extreme fanboy, you're an extreme fanboy. If that's what brings entertainment to your channel, then that's what brings entertainment and views to your channel. You know, if that's what people are entertained with, then let them be entertained with that. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Let them do what they want to do. Okay? All right? But on that note, if you are an extreme channel, and this goes to the PlayStation channels, if you are an extreme fanboy channel, what makes you think these execs that are in charge of multi-billion-dollar products are just going to chill and pop crap along with you? They're not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to go that crazy. You know what I'm saying? Phil Spencer's not going to align with that. Yoshida's not going to align with that. No, Andrew House is going to align with that. Mark Cerny definitely is not going to align with that. None of them are going to align with that craziness talk. You know, they have professional obligations to maintain relationships with third party. You know what I'm saying? Their product is highly visible. How they conduct themselves is highly visible. You know what I'm saying? If people want to go crazy on their channels and act all fanboys, and it makes their channel successful, then so be it. But don't expect companies to side with you. That's not going to happen. You guys are bugging out. All right? Question. Hey, what's up, Suarez? What's going on? He says, Mark Cerny answering questions in recent interview is not provoking participate in a console war. What do you think, Porter? I will say this, and I will say this. I had a podcast with Young Soul and Jay Barney. And they gave me a point of view I didn't consider. Okay? And the point of view I didn't consider with Mark Cerny is not a PR guy. He's not into public relations. He is a nerd. Not to disrespect him. What's up, though, Boogie? What's good? Thank you for stopping by. To continue asking questions, Suarez. I hope I'm Elidio. I'll say Elidio. But Mark Cerny is a nerd. He is a hardware tech geek. All right. And the point of view that was told is sometimes guys like him, they are oblivious to what's going on. So with that point of view, I don't think Mark Cerny is even paying attention to the console war. I don't think he even knows it exists. I think he's not even into it. Mark Cerny, and you see him how he talks. I don't know if you have, but he's a nerd. He's a geek. He talks tech stuff. So while I think the 8.4 teraflop was bad timing, I think he was just talking about technology that the PlayStation 4 is capable of. Vice him trying to say that this is more powerful than the Xbox One or Scorpio. I think it was just bad timing, and that he had a tech talk. He talked about the tech behind the console. He talked about the tech of what it does, and what he didn't know or probably wasn't prepared to was people were going to latch onto his words and use it as console war ammunition. Now, when I read the article, I knew exactly what was going to happen. I'm like, man, I kind of wish, Cerny had a PR rep next to him, but I knew this was going to get out of hand. I knew that the extreme PlayStation fanboys were going to use that as ammunition against the Xbox dudes. But in my opinion, I feel that's going to be our DX12 if we go that route. In my opinion, we don't need to go that route. It's not. What's going on now in this current gen is not the same as 2013. Everybody keeps thinking that Scorpio is going to be super successful and everybody's going to forget about the PlayStation brand because now Microsoft has the more powerful console. It's not as simple as that. You understand what I'm saying? All day, every day was good. What's up, bro? But my point is, it's not as simple as that. The two timelines are completely different. Number one, in 2013, everybody had a 1080p. And we were already all sick of 8 years of HD consoles. You know what I'm saying? That we're doing 720p. We were tired of just those consoles, period. They've been around for 7 years, the longest stretch of a console generation. So we were just tired of those consoles. We wanted new consoles. Okay? 2013 comes around, and most gamers by that point had 1080p TV. So it was normal for us. 1080p was the standard now. It was normal. Now, Microsoft and Sony launched their consoles at the same time, and it's Microsoft launching the more expensive console, but Call of Duty's at 720p, while the cheaper console, Call of Duty version, is 1080p. That is a problem. Because now people are going to be like, I got a 1080p, and you want me to pay $500 for what? And that answer was Connect. That's why it costed $500. You understand what I'm saying? That's why it cost $500. And people didn't want Connect. That's why 6 months later, they took it off the package. And now you need an adapter just to even use it on the Xbox One S. And you're probably going to have another adapter for the Scorpio. And I'm sure the next Xbox after won't even bother to use it at all. You see what I'm saying? That is not the same as what's going on now. Okay? Because now, not that many gamers have 4K TVs. Not a lot of gamers have 4K TVs. That's number one. Number two, the Xbox Scorpio is not out this year. So there is no comparison of performance and price right next to each other. The Pro is by itself and it's $399. All right. Now, to look at the price of the Pro, because the Pro's a 1 terabyte console, look at the price of a 1 terabyte Xbox One S. It's $349. It's $50 cheaper. You know what I'm saying? The Pro is a more powerful console, better looking games for only $50 more. Now you could say this: it doesn't have a 4K Blu-ray player. So for those who want that feature, the 1 terabyte Xbox One S is more appealing. For those that don't, they're going to go for the Pro. It's just simple as that. But either way, there is no Scorpio this year to compare the Pro to. You know what I'm saying? So it is not the same scenario as 2013. Scorpio is not coming out till next year. So they left Pro by itself to be the most powerful console out on the market. showing the best games, you know what I'm saying, at the best visuals until the Scorpio comes out. You know what I'm saying? They gave Sony that one win, and I don't think they gave Sony. It's just Sony probably planned this console earlier, and they pushed it out earlier. Microsoft, by design, just has to wait. Okay, okay, and that's it. So I don't see this the same. Okay, number two, when Xbox One and PS4 came out, these consoles were starting a new generation. That means you were fighting for new people, for new dollars to create a new fan base. This is not happening with Scorpio and PS Pro. These consoles are not creating new fan bases. The fan base is already created. It's already done. You understand? Because Scorpio's not getting game exclusives. You're not going to get Halo 6 exclusively on Scorpio. And you're not going to get God of War 4 exclusively on Pro. It's the same console generations. It's PS4 and Xbox One. That's it. It's the same thing. Okay? Nothing changed. All right? So what that means is the communities are going to play a big factor. There are people, no matter how powerful Scorpio is, they're going to buy a PlayStation because their friends are on PlayStation and vice versa. People will buy the Xbox One because their friends are on Xbox One. That's just the main thing. The communities have gotten too big now that is now a big factor in game sales. If all your friends from your school or from your work or from your family, you know, your family members have PlayStations and they're all playing Destiny and they're all like, oh man, wait till Red Dead Redemption 2 comes out. We're going to form up a posse and we're going to do all that. Are you going to buy a Scorpio and be left out on that? Left out on playing with your family or your friends who have clans and they get together almost every day? You're going to be the lone gunman now simply because you want 6 teraflops. Is that really what you guys are going to do? It's the same thing. You got a lot of Xbox gamers, despite the fact that PS4 was a more powerful console, they still bought an Xbox One. Why? Because of the online, because of the community. The power didn't matter. Hell, if you look at it now, the Xbox One S is selling great, is it not? Xbox One S is selling fantastic. Last I checked, it doesn't do native 4K. Ever thought of that? If native 4K was all that in a bag of chip, if it had to be done, then why are people buying Xbox One S's in droves now? It doesn't do native 4K at all. It's upscaled. It doesn't even do checkerboard or the advanced techniques the Pro does in terms of 4K. But people are still buying it. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we're at the point in this generation where the communities, the content of these consoles is a huge factor. I didn't say it's the only factor, but it is a huge factor in your decision making. If all your friends and family are playing Xbox, chances are you're going to get an Xbox. You know what I'm saying? If all your friends and family are playing PlayStation, chances are you're going to get a PlayStation. And then you also have to do the price. If Xbox Scorpio is $600, that's going to inhibit and slow down sales. A lot of people, while they say, oh yeah, we want the best hardware, as you know, console gamers are cheap. Not all of them are willing to pay the price for it. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of factors that wasn't part of the Xbox One PS4 initial launch in 2013. All these things weren't part of that. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a like for like scenario. It's a totally different scenario, totally different plan. This is new uncharted waters. You know what I'm saying? We have to see it play out. All right. My man, all day, every day, we've been fooled by frames and rads to keep our minds off of mediocre games. Yeah, that's a good point. There's been, I would say there's some gems this year, but there have been some mediocre games too. You know what I'm saying? And I'll talk to more on the PlayStation side. Like I didn't like Order 1886. I don't like racing games, so I don't mess with Drive Club. Stuff like that. Some games just mediocre on that front. Okay. But anyway, next question. Do you think fanboyism hurt console sales? I think people hate other YouTubers so much it makes them not buy their console of choice. It could be, but I don't think in the big scheme of things. I would say this: while YouTube, I think the gamers who are into information, always wanting to know the latest information of console stuff like that, maybe. But I think most gamers are oblivious to what's going on YouTube. Now, hear me out. Look at Cat Gamer. He has 25,000 subscribers. Hell, even Red Dragon. We'll take Red Dragon. Probably one real huge gaming YouTuber who has like 100,000 subscribers. 100,000, right? So let's take Red Dragon, 100,000 subscribers, primarily Xbox channel. Let's take Crab Gamer, 25,000. So that's 125,000 between the both of them. Next Gen has around 15,000. So that's about 140K. And then we'll add the 5K Mooch has. So let's say 150,000 subscribers between the Red Dragon, Mooch, Crab Gamer, and Zaire. Some of the biggest YouTube channels, right? In the month of September by itself, Microsoft sold 350,000 Xbox One consoles. In just 1 month, they sold more consoles than what these guys have subscribers. And that's just 1 month. Microsoft sells consoles by the millions. Sony sells consoles by the millions. You know what I'm saying? The point what I'm trying to make is majority of these millions are oblivious to what's going on. They're oblivious to the moochers, to the crack gamers. They're oblivious to the J Barriers, to the J Tech TVs. They're oblivious. You know what I'm saying? So people are going to buy what they're going to buy. So do I think it hurt console sales? I don't really think so. I think only a few people. And here's my thing. If you got people watching YouTube and they make their decision on the console or what they're going to buy simply based off of YouTube personality, I don't know what to say to that. Because when I bought my console, my PS4, it has nothing to do with other people. Because at the end of the day, and I'm pretty sure you all could agree with me, when each of you went and bought your platform of choice, was Jay Barry with you? Was any of those guys with you? Did any of those guys loan you money? Were you using their credit card? No, nobody's there. At the end of the day, it's just you in the store buying what you want and how you want to play it. And that's it. No one else is involved. Everybody else is none of their business. You understand what I'm saying? Hell, my own wife doesn't really get involved on why I play or buy. And she lives with me. She's my wife. You see what I'm saying? So really, each and every one of us gets what we get based on what we want out of that product. But if you are influenced because of somebody else, then I really don't know what to say to that. That's just weird to me. Next one. I think using this extra powerful resolution is a waste of power. I think it should be used for gameplay frame rates. Here's the thing. I agree with your statement. The problem is maybe frame rates, but not gameplay. And I'm going to tell you why. Not that I disagree with you, El Boogie. I agree. I would love to see improved gameplay. The only problem is if they use the power of the Pro and the Scorpio to improve gameplay and do things to take advantage of the power, that means those games won't be able to be on the PS4 and the Xbox One and Xbox One S proper. You know what I'm saying? And they're not going to do that. So here's the absolute fact we all have to accept. We're playing better versions of PS4 and Xbox One games. That is what Scorpio and Pro are going to bring to the table. They're not going to bring Pro and Scorpio specific gaming. They're just going to take PS4 and Xbox One games and make them look better. Maybe make them run better, but primarily look better. You're not going to get anything unique in experience from the Pro or the Scorpio. You're not going to get that from those consoles because those games have to run on the PlayStation 4. They have to run on the Xbox One S. So because of that, they have to cater to these consoles. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the reality. You know what I'm saying? If you get the Pro version, you're going to get better looking games. You might get 1080p, 60 frames at ultra max settings, but it's still the same game. You're still playing the same gameplay. World size. It's still the same enemies. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to get smarter, more dynamic enemies. The enemies are still the same. Right? Granted, you know, let's say you take each game and you play in the most extreme hard mode, it's going to be the same game. You know what I'm saying? Because they have to play on the PS4. So this is one of the big things I had about these mid-gen reboots. You know, this is one thing about I have my comment about the mid-gen reboots. The thing about the mid-gen reboots, hold on, I'm losing my train of thought. The thing about the mid-gen refresh is it's not going to push gaming forward. Some people say that these mid-gen refreshes are needed to push gaming forward, right? And I try to explain people this, but they don't get it. So hold on. Let me look at two pieces of information. I'm gonna look at. Let me look up. I'm gonna use The Witcher. Watch it. I'm gonna put The Witcher 2 minimum requirements. Okay, I'm gonna put that there, and then I'm gonna put The Witcher 3 minimum requirements. And I'm gonna explain my point right now. Right, The Witcher 3 minimum requirements. Okay, let's see. Let's see if I'm bugging out. Okay, all right. All right, so both games are DirectX 11. Both games are DirectX 11, right? For The Witcher 2, right? The Witcher 2, the minimum settings to run The Witcher 2 is a 512 megabyte RAM, equivalent of a GeForce 8800. You understand what I'm saying? That's The Witcher 2 requirement. Okay? All right? Okay? But the minimum requirements for The Witcher 3 is an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 660, a much more powerful card. You understand what I'm saying? So The Witcher 2, a GeForce 8800, right? With 1 gig, let's say memory, 1 gig of Windows or 2 gig Windows Vista or Windows 7. But Witcher 3, you need 6 gigs of RAM and a GTX 660 or a Radeon 7870, much more powerful cards. That is how you push gaming forward, is when you push the minimum requirements. You understand what I'm saying? These mid-gen refresh consoles, Scorpio and Pro, will not push gaming forward because, once again, the minimum requirement is the PS4 and the Xbox One. You understand what I'm saying? That is the minimum requirement. That's what I'm trying to tell people, okay? If The Witcher 3 had the same minimum requirements as The Witcher 2, The Witcher 3 would not be what it is today. All right? Imagine The Witcher 3 minimum requirements, a GeForce 8800, vice the 7870. You all feel what I'm saying? That's the point I'm trying to make. To push gaming forward, you have to take advantage of more powerful hardware for gameplay. They are not doing that with the Pro or the Scorpio. They are simply making better graphics. Maybe better resolutions. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, not better resolution, better frame rates. But gameplay is not being pushed forward. The gameplay you're going to play on the Scorpio is the same gameplay you're going to play on Xbox One S, is the same gameplay you're going to play on the vanilla Xbox One that's been bought back in November 2013. The same exact thing for the Pro. It's going to look great, but it is the same game. In all future games, it's going to be built with the idea of PS4 original, vanilla, and slim. Same with the Xbox. It's going to be built for the Xbox One and Xbox One S. All the Scorpion Pro is going to do is just make them look better. You know, make them a lot look better, better particle effects. It's just aesthetics. But gameplay is not going to change. They're not going to make bigger worlds. You know, if Scorpio has 12 gigs of RAM, they're not going to make a game where 9 gigs is needed to build this world. Because the Xbox One only has 5 usable gigs. That means it won't be able to run it. You see what I'm saying? So that's my thing with all this power. You're not going to see power be used for gameplay. It's going to be used just for frame rates or better visuals. It's going to be better looking games. That's it. That's all you're getting. All right? So anyway, thank you for stopping by. I didn't want to make this too long of a podcast because you know what I'm saying? I'm about to get down on some Battlefield. I'm about to play the campaign. I'm excited. I finished Mad Max yesterday. Yo, great game. Yo, I swear to you, listen, I love that game. I don't know what it is, but it was so awesome to drive around and you see those weirdos jump on your truck and they try to stab you and you take your shotgun while driving and blast them off. I mean, you got like this little harpoon gun and you could drag cars behind you, pull their tires off. Yo, it's really dope. That game is dope. It reminds me of Mad Max. And you know, if have y'all seen the new Mad Max movie when I came out like over a year ago, Fury Road? That scene where they go through this storm and everything's dark and there's thunder, lightning and everywhere. That shit happens in the game randomly. So I remember I was chasing a convoy and everything went to shit. A storm approached, everything turned black, lightning bolts hitting the ground. the game is dope. The game is off the hook. The combat's similar to Batman, the Batman Arkham Knight series. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty similar in combat. Very visceral. You know what I'm saying? Lots of customizations, and not just the customizations for aesthetics. I'm talking like real customization. Like you customize your characters, and it gives them more health, better protection, more combos, better weaponry, stuff like that. And the vehicle customization, again, not just aesthetics. Like you change the transmission, or not transmission, you change the engine, you change the tires. You can add exhaust for top speed. Like a lot of the stuff you do to the car is not simply for aesthetic. It is actually performance of the vehicle. You know what I'm saying? It's really dope. It's a really good game. Totally underrated, I think. I mean, I heard good things about it, but I think the game should have gotten more praise than what it is. It's a very good game, lots of content. It's fun. And I don't like driving games at all. But I did enjoy driving around in this game because I was ramming into cars. I was, like knocking them off the road, blowing them up. I was shooting harpoon guns, taking down towers. Just a lot of crazy stuff. It's just craziness. That game is just straight crazy. And it's a good game, right? So I recommend Mac Mass. If you could rent it or pick it up for cheap, do so. It's a lot of content. But now I'm about to hook up on some Battlefield. I'm gonna play the campaign first because I love single player games, and then I'll try the multiplayer when I get to it. Here you go. I know I'm part of the pros target audience PC gamer that has yet to buy a PS4. I know for PC gamers it's hard to play on consoles because PC gamers you guys are so ahead, and you like right now you got the Pro, right? By next year you probably already have a PC that's more powerful than the Pro. And then when Scorpio comes out, a year later, you're going to have better visuals than Scorpio. So it's really hard for you guys to really get in on consoles. So I understand that. I say the only thing that console has, and it's probably less and less, but just console exclusives that you don't have access to on PC. Like, for instance, for example, Red Dead Redemption or Destiny. If you're interested in those games, pick up a PS4. You know what I'm saying? At the end. And maybe Pro will give you at least a little bit more better visuals than what you normally would. But I would say if you're a PC gamer, I say PC gaming and Pro is your best option. So, but I can understand that. But anyway, I'm about to get off. Thanks for tuning in to Andrew Wilkins, El Boogie, Suarez, Sergio Perez. I appreciate all day, every day. I appreciate you guys coming by. Wow, this podcast took a bit longer than I projected. Just want to do a quick one, but anyway, I appreciate it. You guys take care. I'm about to get my game on. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I do. Anyway, you guys have it. You guys stay chill and take care. Have a great night. All right? Later. And you know this sound. Let Zaire know when he plays that. Tell him, remind him. Yo, that's Puerto Rock sound. Remind him. That is 60 frames no lag sound. Tell him I'm getting lawyers and I'm filing a suit. All right? Copyright infringement. Right? Shout out to Zaire, man. Anyway, take care, everybody. 60 frames, no lag. All right? Take care.